Okay, now we're just going to work our way around into the nose. And instead of doing the airbrush effect, I'm going to start to just draw that in quickly, just to give it a little more texture. So we're going to complete this nose here by adding a little of this orange color. We want to pull that in and really finish this off as much as possible. Get it as close to done as we can. We're going to come over here, we're going to add the reds to that nose, which is really important that we get a nice deep red. Like I mentioned earlier, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears, that's where we have the most intense colors. Now this is still a little bit too dark, but it's starting to have that nice intensity, but we need a more orange red. So now it's going to look a little messy and a little weird right now, but we'll get there. We'll get where we want to be. Okay, so you see I'm adding these intense reds. And actually, since I'm here, I'm going to go down to the lips, because I think this is a good color, and I'm going to add it. I'm going to add it to them too. She has some nice red lipstick on. And again, if you want to change the lip color, that's fine. Okay, so now these two are tied together. You know, they work together with those colors. I'm going to add a little to the eyes even, just in that transition from the dark to the light. Okay, so now everything has that color in it, which is good. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my skin tone. Let's see here. What do we want? Let's try something like this. Okay, and we're going to fix the shape of that nostril. And we want to pull this skin tone right inside, because we don't want this to become a solid dark, because that's just not how her nose is. Let's pull this image up here. And you can see that she has these darks here on the sides, but that skin flows right up there. And we want to keep that. If we make this a solid black, it's just not going to look right.
Yeah.
So we want to keep a little bit of softness in there. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to make sure and soften all these edges. And I'm going to come over here and choose kind of a greeny brown. We're going to try this one. It's kind of along the lines of that olive color. And I'm just going to meet this dark shadow with this light, with kind of this medium green. Okay, we're just going to add a little more. So you can see as we go, right, we're adjusting the colors that we've already put down. You know, the green I used before was fine, but I think we should make it a little bit darker. And again, it's not perfect. I'm just kind of drawing it in there loosely, and that's okay. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay in my light, just so that I have some sort of landmark to work with. If I lay that in now, then I'll know what I have to work around. So usually we reserve the highlight for the end, but this is just going to give me a little bit of a shape to work with. This is where the nose, the structure of the nose bends. Okay, so we're going to keep those highlights in place, and you can see that's going to go right into the floose of the lip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So now these are a little hard right now, but we're going to soften them. I'm going to take a soft peach, almost a yellowy color, and I'm going to work around that. And again, working the transparency. See how that's softening up?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want. Okay, and you can see we're getting the texture now.
Oh, yeah.
A little more of the texture. Now I think what I'm going to do is, this red is a little bit harsh. So I'm going to choose a soft, let's see, something with a little bit of pink in it, but not too much. So I think I'm going to go down here to my neutrals and choose maybe something like this. And I'm going to put it on a very low opacity and just lightly dust over that. So it just softens it a little bit, but it's still there. Okay, so now you see the edge of this nostril, which is curving under and up into the nose, is darker than this highlight here. We want the edge to be darker because it's curving under and around. Okay, if we put the highlight right at the edge, it's going to flatten that out. Okay, let's see here. Let's choose another peach, and we'll start adding to the nose here. Let's raise that opacity that we took down to do the highlight adjustment, and we'll start pulling that in. And now it's softening that green. It's meeting the two colors. Okay, we're adding our texture as we go. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. It's okay if it isn't.